Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler is happening this weekend, and this fight is really interesting. Just because it's the co-main event of UFC 309, and we really don't want to watch John Jones fight Stipe. We just want to watch him fight Tom Aspinall. So this is basically the fans' main event because we don't want to watch John Jones' retirement fight. So, but if I look at this fight objectively, Charles Oliveira should destroy Michael Chandler. This fight should not be close. But if you have a fighter like Michael Chandler, the first two rounds are so dangerous. So I'm going to break down this fight and see what's most likely going to happen in this fight. If Charles Oliveira wants to win this fight, he can't be playing full guard anymore. Someone like Michael Chandler, he's so dense. He's a short guy. He has short arms. He's a big, dense guy with so much muscle. It's hard to play full guard in a guy like Michael Chandler. You can watch near the end of the first round when he was pushed against the fence. He had nothing on Chandler. He was not able to do any sweeps on Chandler. He wasn't able to do any real submission on Chandler. You watch the last 40 seconds, last minute of the first round. There was nothing he could do on Chandler because Chandler was so dense. He had more success with Armin against the fence than he did with Chandler. And Armin's a better grappler than Chandler. It's because Chandler is so goddamn thick. And you're gonna say, what about in the open? Okay, in the open, in the first round when Charles had his back and Chandler got out, he was trying to sweep Chandler down, but he really couldn't. Chandler was just way too dense, way too short. He was too close to the ground. Charles couldn't do anything. If he wants to get his jiu-jitsu on it, he has to be going for takedowns, going for the clinch. That's his only hope of getting Chandler down and going for submissions. Just like he did in the first round, where he took Chandler down with a clean double leg. Chandler's a good wrestler. He took Chandler down and he was able to get the back. And like I said, Chandler was able to get out. But he has to create scrambles. He has to be able to make it happen because Chandler doesn't know that much jiu-jitsu or push him against the fence. Like a good example of this is when Chandler was fighting Dustin Poirier. He had Poirier's back and he had trouble transitioning to the back and he got his back taken and got submitted. Like, how do you get a back take and lose it and get submitted by Dustin Poirier? I'm just saying, that was the clunkiest back take I've ever seen in my life. I won't throw a picture of that up, but if I didn't throw it already, it was goddamn terrible. Anyone who knows jiu-jitsu, that was so terrible. That's what I'm saying. He knows wrestling. He doesn't know jiu-jitsu. So if Charles wants to win this fight, he needs to not play full guard. He needs to push him back and make Chandler attack and create the guillotine. He has to create scrambles and use his jiu-jitsu like he did in the Kevin Lee fight. Like, you can't be playing that like we did in the Iron fight or the Benil Dariush fight or the Islam fight. Similar to the Kevin Lee fight, you have to watch the fight back. Charles did an amazing job with his jiu-jitsu. Charles Oliveira has better striking than Chandler. His aggressive striking is so good. Charles probably he uses his knees, his elbows, his kicks. He's not like Poirier who uses his boxing. He actually has a full, well-rounded game in his striking. The only problem is his defense is kind of trash, you know? Like, he has his hands up, which his hands always comes back, but he never moves his head. He stands like a tree, kind of. So he keeps his hands up. He doesn't answer the phone. He just walks forward with a high guard, which his defense isn't bad, but for the highest level strikers in the UFC, it's not on par his defense, which I think is really dangerous for someone like Michael Chandler, who has the most power in the lightweight division, who hits the hardest in the lightweight division. I think Charles just has to keep his hands up, but like I said, his striking should beat Michael Chandler if he doesn't be too reckless. All of that really doesn't matter. Michael Chandler is the most dangerous person in the lightweight division in the first round and the first minute of the second round. And you're gonna say why? Because look, Michael Chandler in the first round, he has so much energy and he's like basically a hamster on steroids. Look how jacked he is. He just swings for the fence. He out wrestles you. He legit picked up Dustin Poirier from a piston squat. This guy is built different in the first round. And people forget the second round too because he gets all his energy back for like a minute and then he gets tired again. Like, you watch the second fight with Gage, the first fight with Gage in the second round, he looked really good until he got tired. So it doesn't really matter. He can beat anyone in the first round and the first minute of the second round. So you just have to survive the first 6 minutes with Chandler, and I think most people will beat him in the fight. How do I see the fight going? I see the fight going really similar to the first fight. I just feel like Charles gets hurt too often, and Chandler's just going to hurt him again in the first or second round, in my opinion. I think it's always going to be the same thing. Charles is going to recover. He's one of the best recovery in MMA, so I think he should be fine, and I think he will get the knockout or the submission in, my guess is the third round or the end of the second round. And if it passes third round, Oliveira is 90% going to win. So I think this fight is really similar to the first round. You know, Michael Chandler is such a waste of talent. You know, this guy could be the Islam kryptonite, but he decided to make us all happy and fight excitingly and not boring. So, I'm not complaining. Charles is winning. I'm happy with that. And other than that, if you like this video, like, subscribe, comment down below what you want me to talk about next. And if you agree or disagree with my prediction, tell me why. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.